Well, hello there. I'm Doug Meadows. I'm the founder, visionary, and hero maker here at David Douglas Diamonds, and I just want to welcome you to my series that I'm doing on Century of Luxury and Legacy. And this is week 16, and I got thinking a little bit. Later today, there'll be a bunch of jewelers flying in from all over the U.S. A total of 10 different jewelry stores will be represented, and we get together. It's part of, I don't know, some people call them skull groups and different things like that, but we get together twice a year and we do store visits. Our store, we're on slate to have our store visited while they're here, it just got me really thinking about all the different groups that I've been a part of in my lifetime, business groups and things. But it also got me thinking about my grandfather. My grandfather was a Mason. I think he was like a Grand Mason. He was like a president. I got a picture of him with a crazy big top hat on him and stuff. But and then my uncle, he was part of the Lions Club, and then my dad was a Rotarian, up in Plymouth, Michigan. And every fall, the Rotarians would do a big chicken dinner. It would be just one day. They would cook up, I don't know. I mean, I looked on their website. Currently, they're up to 10,000 meals in that one day. And they have to cook 10,000 chickens, 10,000 ear corn. I forget what else is in the box, but it's quite the production now. And they create these huge, long pits to do the grilling on them. They rack up these chickens and they just flip them like an assembly line, just keep flipping them. And by the time they get to the end, they're just that perfect flavor and touch, and they put their special seasoning on it, all that good stuff. But you know, they learned the importance of connecting with others, other businessmen, business people. They used it both for networking, but also for learning. And so I started thinking of a lot of the different groups that I've been a part of over the years. Some of them were good, some of them weren't so good. Some of them were faith-based, some of them were secular or just business type stuff. And you know, there was one group we were part of, me and my brother were part of, it was called IJO, Independent Jewelers Organization. And I forget which city we were in, but it was our very first meeting, and they had these breakout sessions where you would get together with other jewelers and talk about different ideas, whether it be marketing, HR, you know, whatever your hot topic was, you'd go in a room and talk about it. And they would group you by your sales volume. You know, they would put you in of like kind. And, you know, my brother, he had the wisdom to look at me and go, you know, that's not where I want to be. He goes, I want to be where the jewelers that are doing a whole lot more than us, I want to hear what they have to say. And so we broke rank and went into a room that we weren't invited in. But, you know, it really taught me a lesson, and it was a very valuable meeting for us. And, you know, sometimes you just got to really challenge yourself to step into a room that you haven't been invited into sometimes. But it definitely will stretch you. But, you know, it also made me think of a buddy of mine, my buddy Billy. He had a mobile dent business. Basically, a lot of the car lots that would buy a used car might have a little minor dent on there, and he would go in there and remove all the dents, buff them out, and get them looking good. And he was looking at investing into some new equipment, and he's talking to different salesmen about their different products that they had to offer, their different systems. And, you always, a salesman's a salesman. They'll push you until you say yes or no. And, but as an owner, or, for me personally, I know I just start coming up with excuses. I'm trying to get rid of the guy. So you're telling him why you can't afford it, or why the timing isn't right, or let me think about it, little things like that. And the guy, so Billy was doing the same thing, and the guy stopped him. He said, "Bill," he said, "do you have a business, or do you just have a job?" And that just really hit me hard when he told me that story, because it got me thinking, what have I created? What do I have? And do I have a business, or do I just have a nice job? And it's not that one is right or one is wrong, because trust me, there's a lot of good businessmen, women that have a business, but they really just have a glorified job. But it suits them well, because in order to grow or have a business, one of the biggest things in order to grow a business is you have to learn to delegate. You have to put systems in place so that you can replace yourself and you can leave the business. And that's really kind of like the test. Lippman's test is, can you leave your business for a month and it do okay? Can it survive without you? Have you created the right leadership, the right people? You got the right people in the bus on the right seat? Those types of things to really make sure that it can run. If you can do that, then you definitely have a business. If you don't, then you've got a very good job. And there's nothing wrong with that, nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that we can be very proud of, because it's just two different animals all together. And you just start wondering, what is it that I'm building here? Am I building something to last? Am I building am I continuing the legacy that my grandfather and my uncle and dad built, that I've stepped into, that I can continue to pass that baton on to Joseph? Or, is it just a job? I see jewelers all over the U.S. going out of business now, not because they can't afford it, but they have no retirement. Their retirement basically is their business, and they haven't created a succession, whether it be somebody in their community that they've brought in and raised them up as a store manager, and then gave them the opportunity to buy the business. Or, like in my case, you have a family member that is willing to embrace it and have a desire to want to take it over. But years ago, I was in partnership with a buddy of mine, and 23 years old. I was a good jeweler, he was a good jeweler, but we were not businessmen. We didn't know what we were doing, we didn't know what we didn't know. And after several years, we successfully ran that into bankruptcy. And you start doing a lot of soul searching when trials and things hit you. And I always gravitate back towards my faith and where my foundation is. Where am I grounded? I'm grounded in the Word of God, and I'm grounded in Scripture. And I here in Atlanta, we have some amazing ministries and different things. One of them that really, and during that dark time in my life, was Christian Financial Concepts, Larry Burkett, and starting to go to seminars to learn, what does it mean to run a business based off the Bible? What does the Bible have to say about business? Luke 19 has the story of the 10 minas. And, at the very end, it just talked about, continue to do business until I return. And my brother actually used that phrase, doing business, to name his corporation that. And so, the other verse that really resonates with me is that iron sharpens iron. It takes other people in your life to help you and mentor you and challenge you to help you grow. And there's always those hard seasons in our life that just really make us think back. One of the other ones was there was a book called Anointed for Business by Ed Silvoso. And man, all the different ideas of how to be a minister in a marketplace. And it really grew me, changed me. But bringing it back to this coming week when these jewelers are going to come in here and take a look at my store, they're going to probably share with me, they'll share with me a few of the highlights, the good things that I'm doing, but that's not their job. Their job is to help me, to challenge me, to show me what I'm missing. As a business owner, you just come in here every day, and it's lonely at the top. You don't have you need that camaraderie, and that's why a lot of groups exist, is so that you have somebody of like mind that you can share ideas with or share your struggles with. Man, I've been part of a lot of them over the years, and it's not that I just keep jumping from one group to the other, but what I've learned over the years is most of these groups have seasons, and whether it be a season of that group to where maybe that leader that was running that group either passes away or retires or steps down or changes course in his life or her life, or maybe things in my life have changed or in my business have changed, and maybe that group isn't challenging me that way anymore, and I need a new group to challenge me. And that's one of the reasons we attend church, is to grow and to learn and be challenged and stuff. But as this group comes in, and at the end of our meeting, we'll be here for 3 days, talking and learning. And at the end of those 3 days, they'll be presenting with me with a game plan of what are my next steps. And I'm very thankful for the fact that they take iron and sharpens iron seriously. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're not going to hold back. They're going to let me know what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly. And we boil it down in business terms. We call it a SWOT, which stands for strengths. What are my strengths? W, what is my weaknesses? What are my opportunities? And then what are my threats out there? And I'm so grateful for this group that I've been a part of for several years now. It's been invaluable, all the things that they have taught us, how they've transformed our business, internally, externally, everything. And if I think of it, I'll give you a little recap next week of what came out of that. But until next week, look forward to sharing with you more of a century of luxury and legacy.